right, we're back for the big game against Michigan. It's Notre Dame update from the Jersey Shore. Hope the dog's ready. Nice. Hey, let's start out today with a flashback segment. Let's take a look back at the Rice game where the Notre Dame team came out of the box to beat Rice. Let's start out with a couple things. Jersey Shore predicted Rice scoring 17 points. That's notch 1 for Jersey Shore. Smiles. Cody Riggs. With that punt return, I knew 2014 was going to be different from the past. I don't know why we've given up on special teams. We take no yardage. We all missed the rocket. Cody, Greg, you guys made us smile. Thank you. Couple other smiles. Matthias Farley. Here's a guy that's been under a lot of criticism. But you know what? It's about the play on the field. Was really glad when you made that interception. Know you've battled hard. Great job as a nickelback. Greg Bryant. My MVP pick coming into this Michigan game. He showed some of his explosive behavior. What happened last year was kind of a rocket ship kept back. Little knee injury, little too many players in the backfield. Here's what's going to happen in the backfield. It's all coming clear to me. Cam, when we're down inside our own 10, inside our own 15, when it's maybe 3rd and 1, you're going to be in there for some of those clutch plays. Greg Bryant, you're going to earn the yeoman's amount of time. Torian, don't be discouraged. There'll be time for you. And what I see eventually is let's get Greg off special teams and plug Torian into that role. Golson, I saw smarter. I saw smoother. I saw stronger. Mr. Golson, great job. We're glad to have you back. Malik, my daughter plays competitive sports at a college level, and I know it's not easy to be on the bench. And when you had your moment, carpe momentum, my friend, way to seize that moment. There's going to be great moments ahead. Patience is not easy, especially for a competitive athlete, but we all have faith in you. The blitz. You know, BVG. Brian Van Gorder's blitz. BVG's blitz and defensive schemes, I like them. I'd rather be aggressive. Diaco, I don't know. Maybe he didn't have the personnel, but there was always something missing from an aggression standpoint. I like what BVG is doing. Even though it was kind of an all or nothing at all, I think as the season goes on, there'll be fewer times that secondary gets burned. What'll happen is our safeties. You know, we've had a lot of hits to the backfield. Let's talk about that for a moment. I read the Hardy Boy books when I was young. Franklin W. Dixon. And sadly, Eiler Hardy has become the 5th Fighting Irish football player to fall victim to the academic scandal. Folks, when you take a hard look at the secondary, with Collingsworth out with that injury, with what happened to Hardy, with what happened to Cavare, it's lucky we had that depth. Nicky Barotti, be ready. Hey, let's talk about this. Michigan, the upcoming game. Brady Hoke and his team coming to South Bend 7:30 tomorrow. That's right, we're about 25 hours from kickoff. Michigan beat Appalachian State 52-14 last week with an explosive running game, and Mr. Gartner returning back at quarterback after a little hiatus last year, playing a little bit of Mr. Everything. He doesn't scare me. If you go back to the tapes from a couple years ago when he beat us in that last-minute Michigan win, our defense was a travesty. The secondary was lost in space, and we had huge problems. It's not going to happen now that BVG's in town. Keys to the game. Devin Gartner, you're never going to see defenses like you see tomorrow. Okay? People are going to be coming from places you're going to think there's 12, 13, 14 defensive Notre Dame players in the field. The Michigan line, listen to this, includes a freshman at right tackle and a walk-on If our Notre Dame front seven can't take advantage of that, shame on us. It'll be a long season. Here's the stars of the game. Greg Bryant, this is a breakout game for you. Chris, I think at wide receiver, you're going to have a breakout game also. Ben Koyak, key plays. Mr. Riggs, I predict two things. Big on the returns and an interception. That's two things. Jalen, we need a big game from you. I'm calling for a big game from you. And I believe we have 2 or 3 interceptions tomorrow. I'm going to call for 3. Jersey Shore says 3 interceptions. Next week, it's Purdue in Indianapolis at Luke Oil Stadium. Folks, earlier this year I predicted 23-21 Irish. Got to adjust that. And I'll tell you why. What I saw last week from Golson, from Bryant, and what I know, hey, we dropped a couple passes last week. When these wide receivers get into a rhythm, here's what we've got. Jersey Shore adjusted score for tomorrow, Irish 37, Wolverines 24. Hey, Aaron Scarfino in St. Louis, sorry that you're not an Irish fan. Hopefully you jump on board. Mickey and your friend out there in LA, sorry you're not Irish fans, but jump on board. Mac out in Chicago, glad you've jumped on board. Scott Mencken, your host for Notre Dame Irish Update from the Jersey Shore. We're back at you next week with a recap and a preview of the Purdue game. Thank you. Stay safe.